It'll take 2 minutes. There's no right or wrong answer. But I'm asking the same people the same 5 questions.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So, firstly, good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
Are you having a great day so far?
I am. I've got my phone full of notes and takeaways that I've got to go home and then prioritise my action list. So there was some good takeaways in some of those sessions that we had. So yes.
Amazing. Love that. So good. So my first question to kick you off, do you think accountants and bookkeepers are becoming too reliant on technology to do their jobs?
Oh, that's an interesting question, because I'm of the frame of mind that you should know the outcome and not be reliant on the tech. So when you walk into any software, whether it be Xero, you should know by your conversations with your client what you should be expecting to see at that top of that refund or payable, or you should be knowing what to see at end of year financials. If you're doing the BASs, you should have an idea and not be reliant on plugging it into a system, because that's how you find things like transcribing errors, or you have to have the basics. You got to know your traditional accounting and you got to know the basics. In regards to talking about new age and tech and AI, my view is the same. It's a tool. It's not the answer. You have to go into your AI knowing what you want it to spit out. I think it's a brilliant tool that allows us to structure our ideas, structure our thoughts, structure our calculations, structure our communications and how we want something to do. But you have to know what you're asking it before you can rely on the information that's spit out. So I think, yes, we're reliant on tech in the way of innovation and that, but from our accounting knowledge and skill and intelligence, you've got to have that before you walk in the door.
Love it. Good. Okay. So, do you think accountants and bookkeepers are partly to blame for the stereotype of being boring?
I don't think it's accountants and bookkeepers, actually. I think it's the industry and the ATO as a whole and of the industry of the past. And I don't think that accounting is boring, because many people will look at the tech industry and think that coding's boring. You're sitting at a computer, you're coding all day. What could be more exciting than that? But when you're not finding solutions in your job, that's nothing boring about that. You're actually adding value to the clients. And I get a kick out of finding answers. I get a kick out of finding solutions. And I don't mind. And sometimes it's nice to do a bit of boring. But with new technology that we're using, the work isn't boring anymore. And if anything, it's becoming, we're overworked with the fact that we have to think more. And we don't have the downtime to do the boring tasks because they're automated. So you have to be on your game as an advisor and a bookkeeper, because you can't rely on the software. You have to know what it spits out. Otherwise, at the end of the year, you're fixing big problems. So I don't think we're boring at all.
Right. Good. Love that. Do you think the accounting profession is too focused on compliance and we're not adding enough value? Or not focused on adding enough value?
I actually think that compliance is never going away, and I think that compliance right now is getting worse. So where accountants want to move to advisory because they think it's more value add, our actually obligations for compliance with HR and what HR are asking of us and what we have to present and what we have to document and our systems and our, holding all that data, that is compliance. And we have to actually keep that data, report that data. So I think compliance is expanding in the fact that we can't simply just rely on our advice. It's got to be documented and sorted. But in regards to advisory, I think there's unique people who can do it well. Some people are just born to be compliance, and that's okay. Not every accountant in the industry has to be an advisor, and those that have the knack for it should be the ones that should be doing it. And compliance isn't just plugging out numbers in a system. You still got to think, you're still finding solutions, but I guess what you define advisory to be.
It's true. I've got 2 more questions for you.
Okay.
Do you think accounting qualifications are outdated in today's world at the moment?
Absolutely. I've taken on 5 interns from a university and I feel like I can't hire any of them. Like, I had someone who couldn't even put data into a spreadsheet. I don't think they're not teaching them tech. I think that the foundation of accounting is great in the fact that it's a foundation, and you learn at uni to research, and you learn at uni where to find an answer, and you learn critical thinking and that kind of advanced thinking. When you walk out of uni, you're losing 80 to 90% of what you learn. You're walking away with 10% of good. But what they've done is they've given you the skills to find solutions, find problems, critical thinking, all of that. So I do think they're outdated. I think there needs to be more tech involved in accounting. I think there needs to be more business and marketing in the accounting industry. And so that's my opinion.
Good. Love it. One more opinion. What is the most hyped thing in accounting right now?
Probably the TPB and the new rules. I don't think it's overhyped from the way that it's affecting our industry. I think it's something that should never have happened in the first place, that there should have been another way that we went around it. However, I mean, there is AI, but like I said before, you've got to know the solution before you jump in. Compliance is growing when people think that it's not. I don't know anyone in the industry who would think that the compliance work is getting less. Someone has to do it in the end. But overheads, you don't need every tech solution. Tech solutions are great, but you got to fit it for your fit for purpose in your business. Because if you've got every tech solutions, I found after this weekend, I was like, I've got tech solutions that I already have existing software that can do the same thing. So culling some of that, taking it back to what you really need for your practice, and then moving forward.
Love it. Very cool. My lucky last question. So we've been at Access All Areas today. We're in St Kilda Beach. Where will Access All Areas be in 2025?
Brisbane.
Brisbane. Which pub or venue would you take it?
Oh, God, you're asking me? I could just say, let's have it on the Sunshine Coast at the Novotel Resort, because that's just down the road, and they have a pool.
Wow. Could do with a pool.
Could do with a pool, but yeah, what pub? What cool pub in Brisbane? I haven't gone out in Brisbane enough.
That's all right. That's cool.
So yeah, great.
Well, thank you so much for your time. That was great.
Thank you.
Very good. That's a wrap. Easy peasy.